We're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you for coming to Mayor's Night Out, Eggers Middle School. I appreciate it. I want to say thank you to the principal, Barbara Fleming, for letting us use the facility. Can we give the principal and the facilities of Eggers Middle School a big round of applause, please? I want to introduce your 3rd District Councilman, Councilman Anthony Higgs. Let's give him a big round of applause, everybody.
Good evening, and thank you all for coming out on May 3rd and voting for Councilman Higgs to re-elect. 4 more years, we'll get the job done, committed and concerned about the community, and that's my focus and my goal is to work with all my constituents when called upon to do what's necessary to move my community and my city forward. So again, thank you, and give a round of applause to all the mayor staff for the wonderful job they do. Thank you so much. Got a number of projects going on in the district. You'll see a lot of construction work going on. And again, my doors are always open, and I'm committed to serving you. So thank you again, and God bless.
Thanks, Councilman Higgs. I want to remind everybody, first off, I want to thank the elected officials for coming out. First off, Hammond City Clerk Robert Golick. Thank you very much, Clerk Golick. Hammond City Councilman at Large, Dan Spitali. Where are you, Dan? Thank you. And I don't think I missed any others besides Councilman Anthony Higgs. So as you all know, Mayor's Night Out is a monthly traveling forum. It's driven off of your questions. We basically, I got Megan in the back. Megan, could you please raise your hand? She's got blank forms back there. We answer any question. If I can't answer it for you, I got my able department heads right by me that can answer the question as well. Once we run out of questions, it's over. I want to remind everybody, GoHammond.tv. GoHammond.tv is filming this live right now. We're trying it live for a while. We want to make sure we don't start losing audience because we are going live, but we also have an audience at home, so when Donna runs up to you with the microphone, please wait for the microphone to get there so that the audience at home can hear as well. Let's go ahead and start. Donna, how's it going?
Good. How are you, Mayor?
I'm great. We'll go ahead and start with the lineup. Introduce everybody.
Okay. Attorney Chris Cantar, Hammond City Attorney.
Pat Reardon, Hammond UEA.
Charlie Blaine, Hammond Park Department.
Jim Callahan, Inspections Department.
Ed Crusoe, Hammond Water.
Mike Unger, Sanitary District.
Chris Campbell, Information Technology.
Owana Miller, Community Development.
Kathy Kasmersack, Recycling.
Lolita Weems, Human Relations.
Beth Jacobson, Economic Development.
Courtney Margraf, College Bound.
Chris Sakalaris, Legal Aid Clinic.
Sharon Daniels, Personnel.
Bob Lendy, Controllers. Mylon Krasinski, Port Authority.
Phil Talon, Planning and Development.
Rick Kalinsky, Mayor's Office.
Brian Miller, Police Department.
Stan Destotny, City Engineer.
Ron Novak, Environmental.
Brian Poland, City Planning.
Kurt Cook, Building.
Good evening, Scott Mitchell, your Sewer Department.
Kevin Margraf, Fire Department.
Kelly Kearney, Code Enforcement.
Jennifer Doline, Housing Authority.
I'm Pat Moore, Park Department.
Johnny Perez, Sanitation.
Timothy Wood, Street Department.
Donna Muta, Hammond Parks and Recreation.
Donna Muta is the Special Events Coordinator. She's been doing this for a long time. Like I said, it's driven off your questions. Right now we have 5 questions. So right now it's going to be a pretty quick night. So if you're out here and you have questions, I encourage you to go pay a visit to Megan in the back so that we can keep this going. Let's go ahead and jump into the first question.
Okay, Mayor. Regarding property taxes.
Skip that question. I'm
Okay.
just kidding. I wish we could do that. That was like a game show. No, I don't want that one.
I won't let you do that.
All right.
Is there any way to get a list of how our properties are assessed and what the 1B gross assessed value of all other properties are?
I hope Bobby's listening. I usually punt when I don't know what I'm talking about, and I do know about taxes, but when it gets very detailed like that, I defer to the department head. Bobby, how's it going?
Good, Mayor. How you
Bobby's
doing?
the Hammond City Controller, CPA. Did you hear the question?
Yes, I did. Yes,
All right.
I did. If you would like to find out what the assessed value of your property is, you can go to the Lake County website, and there's a link for the assessor's site on there. You go to the assessor's site, and there's another link that says property search. And you can go to that property search link, and you can either type in your last name, or you can type in your property address, and all the information that Lake County has on your property will then pop up. It'll show your assessed value of the land and the structures on your property, and it will also show what your tax bill is for 2010, pay 2011. Now, if you want to find out what the entire taxable assessed value is of the entire county, I don't have those figures yet, but I should very shortly. And when I do, on my page on gohammond.com, I will usually have that posted.
Yes. What if you don't have a computer?
I'll tell you what, if you don't have a computer and you want to call me in my office, my number is 853-6324.
What about the cell phone? I know you have a cell phone number, Bob.
Sure. Oh, okay. I don't know the phone number there.
All right. Hey, Ed, why don't you grab a microphone? You're a certified appraiser, aren't you? All right, ma'am, I'll tell you what. See, Ed, could you raise your hand? Between Ed and Bob, once you approach them after the meeting, they can handle this more on a one-on-one. Well, these guys are professionals. They can help you.
I know that. But I just wanted to know, I could have avoided the area if I'd have known what I was supposed to be looking for.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the question. If there's any follow-up to the question, we usually take it. If you have a follow-up, you just raise your hand. Don will come around with the microphone. I know that was a pretty particular question, so. All right, let's go. Jump into number 2.
Next, for you, Mayor, is it illegal to put political signs in parkways and city parks?
Okay, talking about political signs, we just got done with political season. Is it illegal to put signs in parkways and city parks? Absolutely. Does it happen? There's a lot of things that happen with signs, especially in the few days that are leading up to the election. And this last primary cycle we just went through, in my opinion, was one of the worst as far as sign abuses. As far as people not getting permission for putting signs in yard, signs getting stolen, which is a huge unfortunate part of running for office. People putting signs in right-of-ways like the exit ramps coming off 8094, abandoned lots, stuff like that. There's other communities that regulate the size of signs and, when signs can be placed in yards and stuff like that. I don't believe Hammond has any ordinance to that effect. Chris, we don't, right? And I imagine if we did any ordinance like that, right now would be viewed very suspiciously. I think if we were going to do something like that, we should get through municipal election cycle before we change any ordinances in regards to that. I know it was Bonnie that asked that question. She talked to me a little bit before the meeting. Bonnie, do you want to say anything in particular? Hold on, Bonnie. Hold on.
I remember when the city trucks used to go around and take them out of the parkways, and I'd like to see them do that again because it just doesn't look good to have it all over.
Great question. We actually did that. We don't brag about it because some people feel that we're violating. In fact, I had a lawyer straight up tell me, first off, you're grabbing my guy's signs, and we said, we're only grabbing signs that are in right-of-ways. We're not targeting signs. If they're in right-of-ways and it's obvious they're not supposed to be there, we'll pick them up, take them to the street department complex, call the candidate, and have them come pick up their signs. I told one of the candidates that because he said, you guys are picking up my sign. I saw the orange truck do it. And I said, you can pick it up at the complex on Conkey Street. And they said, we're going to sue you for a First Amendment violation. I said, First Amendment violation? He said, yes, it's our First Amendment right. We can put out signs, and you can't pick them up because you're government, and that's a violation of my constitutional rights. So I'm not afraid of that lawsuit. I mean, any First Amendment lawsuit's a bad thing, but I want you to know that, there are people out there that feel that this is their right to place signs like that out. I don't know. What does anybody else think on this? Chris, can you bail me out here? What do you think about this? Chris, city attorney.
I mean, with political signs, as with any signs, you only have a right to place something in a location where you have the permission of the owner. You can put it on somebody else's property. However, if you don't have the permission of the owner to place something there, it's trespassing. Now, even a person who wants to walk on the public sidewalk, they're not allowed to plant themselves there in the grass and sleep there for a month. they've got to continue to keep
Right,
moving.
right.
So, it's, I mean, anybody can make any challenge. All you need is an ideal and a filing fee to
Yep.
get a lawsuit, but.
You know, other communities regulate the size of the signs, like 4x8s are allowed in Hammond because we have no ordinance, but there's some communities you can't put a 4x8 out.
I'm familiar with Munster's ordinance because I did have somebody approach me about mirroring it. In Munster, you can only have political signs up 28 days before the election, and they must be down 48 hours after the election.
We had, and that's a great ordinance, and that's something that should be definitely talked about in Hammond. We had a sort of a gentleman's, I hate to say gentleman's agreement, an agreement that went on for a long time, that 30 days before the signs go out, and pretty much all the candidates followed that until this year. And literally, like, signs are going up at Christmas now, and it's getting a little ridiculous. So, I mean, Bonnie, I think is a great question. That's why I asked you to bring it in. I mean, this is, in my opinion, this is something that needs to be worked on. However, can you imagine right now if we passed an ordinance that said you can only put out certain size signs and this many days before? They would literally say that we're passing that so that we could all get reelected. So I want to let that, get through this next election cycle, and then I think hopefully if I get reelected, which I'm confident I will, but we can tackle that right away because it needs to be tackled. Councilman, do you have any opinions on this?
The reality of it is that signs don't vote, people do, and some of my signs were stolen as well. But the thing is that there is no ordinance on the books currently as it relates to signs being put up, but you can't put them in the parkway, and you shouldn't put them in the parkway, and it's only fair. And if the street department or whoever sees signs in the parkway during the election time, I guess they should pull them on up, because in reality they should go in the yards, not in the parkway.
I can tell you in my campaign, we started off in January making phone calls to people that we thought may be open to getting a McDermott sign. And the yard signs that you saw go up 30 days before the election, which is when we did it, we literally talked to every single person, either by me knocking on their door and getting permission, or actually calling them on the phone and asking them, can we put a yard sign in your yard? That's why we didn't get very few complaints from my yard signs, because they were earned, basically. And I think that when you earn your yard signs, you find out on election day, because the voters return the favor in a lot of ways. So it is a major problem, though. So anybody have any questions about yard signs, political yard signs? Okay, outstanding. Mylan, could you grab a microphone real quick? Mylan's the head of the Hammond Port Authority. I know there's a lot going on right now at the Port Authority. You want to give a little quick commercial on what's going on with your neck of the woods?
Sure will. Right now, at the Wolf Lake Memorial Park at 121st Street, the Water Gardens Aquatic Family Play Center is under construction. It should be done right around July 19th to July 20th. And we will open sometime within that week time frame. The next thing that's going on is the bridge, the pedestrian bridge and the bike bridge over Indianapolis Boulevard is being constructed. That's on schedule and should be done sometime in November, probably the middle to the end of November. That will be done. And as always, Mayor, the golf course is open so long as we have good weather and rain stays away a little bit.
Hammond Hammond residents get a discount on the daily rates
and weekend rates of $12 for the weekday and $12 at the weekend.
How much are the memberships now? We have memberships available as well.
850, 800, I think. Or that's city employees. I think it's $1,000 now.
$1,000?
$1,000, yeah.
So a Hammond resident that wants to buy a membership and play unlimited golf at the last March.
$1,000
for a season.
For the season.
That's outstanding.
It is outstanding. It sure is. And this weekend, Mayor, the beach opens up with our lifeguards.
Mm-hmm.
And so everyone come on out, enjoy the beach, take a walk, and starting.
How are we doing on the lifeguard situation?
Lots of Hammond.
Good.
We hired more Hammond kids. We put them through the YMCA lifeguard program, and we're going to do open water training of those kids too.
Do we have any open spots left if people are interested, or?
If they are interested, we will still take application for lifeguards. Yes.
So any students that are looking for a summer job and are good swimmers?
Yep, we'll take them.
Okay.
Age? Usually like 17, 18.
Yeah. Open water, so there's
open water.
This is Wolf Lake and Lake Michigan?
It's going to be for Lake Michigan.
Only, okay.
Mm-hmm. Only this year, yes.
Okay.
Folks, come on out and walk. Spend some time at the lakefront. It's beautiful. And the pavilion, Mayor, we're going to have a lot of activities this summer at the pavilion. We're going to have a kids' week out there. Disney's coming. Disney Radio's coming out.
Nice.
With a couple of folks. And then all the other activities out there. Reggae,
Reggae, when?
July 9th.
Nice.
Bob Marley's band.
Bob Marley's band.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Hammond Police Department, put it on your...
No, they have it on their calendar already, Mayor.
All right, thank you. I want to kick over to environmental real quick. We had a situation, a lot of kids from Eggers are going to be going to Gavitt next year. We had a situation with environmental situation down by Gavitt. I understand that's been cleared up, right, Ron?
Yeah, the intersection of 175th and White Oak is now open. That was essentially closed for 9 months due to the BP oil spill. If you go through that intersection now, you're going to see a new street, new curbs, new sidewalk, parkway with basically new sod in it. Sewers have been replaced in that area, and the water lines have been worked on and repaired. There's going to be a 2-year monitoring of that site. Essentially, we recovered 3,000 gallons of product, 14,000 tons of contaminated soil left. Now, it went out in sections, but that essentially is brand new material that's in that intersection. So it's a long undertaking, but it's a brand new street, open for traffic, and it really looks beautiful.
Okay, thank you, Ron. I appreciate it. Yes, ma'am. Are they organizing any beach sweeps for the cleanup with the Hammond Port Authority?
We did that this past weekend, but we do have a. That's okay. It's okay. You could come out anytime and pick up litter on the beach. Sure.
Yeah. We only like to do it on designated days.
No, that's okay. We do have a beach cleaner though that we regularly use on the beach, so it's yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, we need to probably do a little bit better. Well, you said you didn't have a computer, but I want to remind everybody that GoHammond.com, it's a very good website. In fact, the website administrator is right behind you. It's a very good website with information about City of Hammond. It's got the GoHammond.tv now, where you click on and you can watch clips of Mayor's Night Out, press conferences we have, city council meetings are on there as well. So we have a lot of options through the internet as well. So I want to remind everybody of that. Okay, I want to kick over to Courtney Margraf, head of College Bound. Courtney, could you, we have any deadlines coming up that students should know about? I know College Bound students are starting to work City Hall. I got one in my office right now, so.
The deadline for new students graduating high school, I think the last day or graduation is June 10th. The deadline is July 1st. It has to be in my hand on July 1st. And then also all the returning students who are just coming back from college, their deadline's July 1st as well. You'll probably see a bunch of College Bound volunteers working throughout the city. They have on T-shirts that advertise the College Bound program, cleaning up garbage and planting flowers and all kinds of fun stuff. They're all over.
Outstanding. Okay, thank you. Okay, Donna.
Mayor, we should probably tell the residents what Jake and Leanne are doing with these boxes back here. I think Beth Jacobson can fill us in.
Outstanding. Beth, you've officially been thrown under the bus by Donna.
Thank you, Donna.
You're welcome.
Beth could tell us about what's going on.
Last year we received a grant from the federal government, from the Department of Energy, and the purpose of the grant was to reduce energy consumption in the city of Hammond. Through that grant, we've provided energy efficient upgrade to 300 residential homes in the city of Hammond and 15 businesses. Part of our outreach program is to educate residents on small things that they can do in their homes to save on energy and reduce their consumption. And in the back, we have 6 free light bulbs for you, CFL light bulbs, along with some information about the energy savings that you receive from using CFL light bulbs.
Thank you, Beth. I appreciate it. Nice to see you guys out here. Councilman Anthony Higgs also wanted to mention he has a 3-on-3 basketball tournament coming up.
The 7th annual 3-on-3 basketball tournament is going to be held at the MLK Park, formerly known as Maywood Park, on June 25th. We'll be giving away bikes and computers for the kids, so send them on out. And it's going to be a wonderful day. That's what we do in the 3rd District.
I like that saying. All right, Donna.
Okay, Mayor, our next.
Are we doing, I want to remind everybody, questions are what drives this. Once we run out of questions and I stop picking on department heads, we pretty much wrap up, so. All right.
Code enforcement and street department.
All right.
I have a business neighbor that fills up the street with junk cars. I would like to have more residential parking only signs put up.
Okay. What's the address on that? Do they have an address?
It's,
Or a approximate address? You don't need to.
Mr. Molson still here?
Sir, do you mind, do you want to follow up on that, sir? Yeah, hold on. Donna will bring the microphone over. What's that? How you doing, sir?
This is over on 161st Street in North Hessville, and I'm pretty sure that's still part of the 3rd District. No, it's not. No, it's not?
Which side of Kennedy are you on?
West.
The west side of Kennedy? Yeah, you're in the 3rd.
That's what I thought.
Where exactly is your home?
Well, nonetheless,
It's right off of Kennedy Avenue on 161st Street.
Okay. Let's follow up with your complaint.
Okay, well, I've been dealing with this situation for 7 years, going on 8 years now. Now, I wasn't sure what the agenda was for this meeting here, but I know I was going to have to go see somebody from the city. So
You got to see them. There's a whole bunch of them here.
Yeah.
We do this. We've done this over 80 times. I think that's the number we came up with, right?
Yeah, I know, but Thursday nights are bad for me, but this Wednesday night, when I saw it in the paper today, works out good for me.
I got word that Thursdays were bad for you, so we changed it to Wednesday.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
We were really responsive, sir.
Well, you got my vote.
Thank you. Why don't we talk about your problem, and then I'll kick it over to Kelly.
Okay, well, see, the IHB Railroad is over there, and this place, this garage, which is right next to me, used to park a whole bunch of cars over there on IHB property. Well, this went on for years and years and years here, and then all of a sudden there was something happened over there, and the railroad posted their property, no trespassing, no parking, and all of a sudden this place couldn't park all their junk cars over there anymore. So now they came to the other side of the street, between 160, it's between Kennedy Avenue and Marshall Street. Now, I just talked to, they started
So they
parking
take up all the available parking spaces?
Yeah. Well, and not only that, they tried to angle park them so they could fit more cars in.
Okay.
So I talked to Scott Holbrook, the community
Community affairs
relations-
officer, right.
yeah. And he suggested that in order for the officers to handle this better, if we could get residential parking only signs, or whatever term you want to put on it up there, so when they parked all these cars here, they could, it'd be easier for the police to do something about it. And he said I'd have to see the councilman.
Well,
take care of it.
let me follow this up real quick with code enforcement, and then I know the chief will be back in here, and I think we can get this taken care of. Kelly, you know about the situation?
I know right where he's talking about, 2800 block 161st, right next to Chuck and Irene's. The business is allowed so many vehicles, they have to have parking spaces for their customers also. What we'll usually do is go through zoning, Don Novak, and get a parking plan for them, and then they're allowed so many vehicles out of there. Also, any vehicle that they have on their property has got to have a work order. It's either properly plated, registered, and have a work order for the work that they're doing on it. You just can't park them there and leave them there. So they have to be operational, or they have to be being worked on and have paperwork on them that they are registered. I won't say it's an easy fix. I'll go by and talk to the company and tell them that they're going to have to move some of these vehicles, get them out of there. I'll check with Don and see the parking plan, how many vehicles they are allowed to have there. If I remember correctly, there's not a lot of room for them to park a lot of vehicles there.
And if they're parking diagonally on the street, that's illegal in itself.
We won't be allowed to do that. No.
Right.
Well, there isn't much room over there. There's several entities of this business. There's a towing company that's there, which pulls cars in and out all the time. They store them on Marshall Street over there. They used to pile them up. I got pictures here. They used to pile them up on the railroad property, and all out. And they actually got. Right now, they probably got over a dozen cars parked in Chuck and Irene's parking lot.
Okay.
Which I don't really care about, but I'd like to. I mean, it's one of those deals where if you give them an inch, they take a mile. You let them park 3, then there's 6. You let them park 6, and then there's 12.
One thing we've been very successful with the work in the police department on issues like this, I have no problem getting hold of Scott Holbrook. We'll go over there and tag what needs to be tagged. If they can't move them, then they'll be cited and have to explain to Judge Harkin why they can park vehicles like that. It's unsightly. It leaks oil. It's usually banged up. It's a body shop.
Well, a couple of blocks up, sir, there's a business on the corner that does repairs, and so what the neighbors did, they all signed a petition, and I presented that to the Board of Works, and we got it approved. So, I mean, it's how you want to address it, but you can contact me after this meeting, and I'll give you my number, and the chief is here, and if there's a problem with them just parking and storing vehicles, then he can address that. But if you're talking about residential parking, then we need to get all the neighbors on board for that. And you understand, residential parking can be complex. That can mean you need to put signs in your window, your friends, family members, they may come over, they may have to have little passes, so it can get very complex.
Well, I wasn't sure exactly what was all entailed in this.
Well, I'm glad you came out to this meeting.
I was going to come and see you anyway, but
I'm glad. Did you vote for me?
I might be here tonight, so it made it a little easier.
Oh, yeah, I made it. So certainly, we will address it, and thank you for coming to the meeting, sir.
Okay.
In fact, Kelly, do you think you can swing by tomorrow and
Absolutely.
take a look?
Absolutely.
We'll be on this tomorrow, so thanks for asking the question. All right. Thank you for asking the question, sir. I want to pass off to Parks Department. How you doing, Pat? I just saw you getting ready to put down the microphone.
Yes, sir.
How you doing? Why don't you talk a little bit about a couple of the projects you have going? I know we just did a big one up in North Hammond, and I know you got a big one going on in Hessville right now with the soccer complex, so.
I missed you ladies. Anyway, at Pulaski Park, we just completed a major renovation program, something that's probably been in work for pretty much my whole career with the city. We wanted to do this, and it's beautiful. You got to go to Pulaski Park and see what we're doing there. In Hessville, we're getting ready to send out for bids. Actually, on Friday, the advertisement will go in the paper to try to solicit bidders for a new soccer complex to be built at the Miller School. Miller School has a very large grassy area with a couple baseball fields on it. Years back, it was a garbage dump. We're going to renovate that, put some soccer fields, actually about 3 soccer fields, a concession stand, a patio, some decorative lighting. It's going to be a very nice program. Nice fencing. I changed the fencing, Mayor.
Awesome. It's going to be really nice.
Pardon me? You're at Dowling Park now, right? See, I'm still at Miller School. Dowling Park, the city and Park Department are entering into an agreement with Purdue Cal. And Purdue Cal is wanting to get there and do some athletic fields, and it's really going to be awesome because of the fact that, as everybody knows, Dowling Park floods. And the major problem that you have with that is, you're not going to make the water go away. You have to give it a different place to go. And it's a very intense process to do that. And the good thing is Purdue Cal, they're an engineering school.
Clerk Bullock?
Yeah, there was some questions from my neighbors there. Will there be plenty of off-street parking for the people who attend those soccer games, rather than inundate the neighborhood and the residences that surround that complex?
Yeah, none of the parking is going to change. We're not eliminating any parking at all.
We got to be adding, I think is what he's saying.
Well, we want to add some in, which would be just west of the Gene Shepherd Center is an area that we're looking to add more parking into. So.
Talk about the soccer complex, Pat.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, Miller School?
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, we're going to use Miller School's parking lot.
Will that be sufficient for all the games that will be going on?
I hope so. I don't know.
We'll follow it up, Bob. I'm sure. Let's,
Park by your house.
Yes, I know.
all right, thanks. Question?
This is a new topic.
Oh, okay.
If you don't mind.
Sure.
Kim. This is Myrna Hackett, Mayor. She has a question about her block club.
Hi, Myrna.
Good evening.
Thanks for coming out.
My name is Mrs. Myrna Hackett. I have this concern from the Reverend Burns Drive Block Club, and I want to be brief. I'm going to leave this here, but I brought it here so I can
finally catch up with our mayor and Councilman Anthony Higgs. And what I would like to do is just go over a few things that if you all can do anything for us, please help us. Number one, the street lights at 1132 Cleveland Street has been out since the winter, and we want to know how can that be repaired. There's a fallen tree, and now that school is getting ready to be out, we don't want our children to get hurt. So the fallen tree on the lot between 1132 and 1126 on Cleveland, can we, get that taken care of or see what we can get done about that? Because if something happens, then we're all responsible. We don't want anyone's child to get hurt. And then at 6137 and 6151 Reverend Burns Drive, we have some problems there. I think there's homes there that we need to have some input on how we can get some things done over there. And other than that, what I'm going to do, because I know other people will have some questions and I do have to go, I'm going to give this to you, Mayor and Councilman, and if you all can get together and take care of these issues for us, we would truly be blessed. And thank you,
No
and
problem,
God
Mayor.
bless you.
Ms. Hackett, let me first off say that I've met with you several times, and anytime you call me, my door has always been open. So if there are any questions or concerns as it relates to any of these issues, feel free to call me at home or at my office like you've done in the past. There's no problem with that, and I certainly will address the Cleveland light. I turn into engineering department on a regular basis, weekly lights. It's a process that they have to go through. They may have to order parts or whatnot to get it repaired. As it relates to properties, you have to find out who owns the property, do a title search. It's a number of things that go through that process. So, and Jim Callahan is here. He can address that as it relates to vacant properties. There are a number of vacant properties in my district. I'm trying to address them, get them torn down, or maybe they can rehab them. The question is whether or not someone's interested in buying the property or not, but we are addressing those issues. And again, if you have any concerns or questions for me, Ms. Hackett, feel free to give me a call at my office or at home. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Higgs. And I will address that. I have been able to talk to you, but the thing is, we hadn't talked about these other things on Cleveland, and now that we have, I appreciate what you're going to do, and thank you. And I hope we can get these things addressed, Mayor McDermott, because we need to. Right across from my home at 6205, there's a vacant lot. And if we can have something done about that, I know in prior years, we have talked about that lot, and it was cut last week, but now if we can just adopt it, or whatever it is that can be done, we will be willing to.
Why don't you drop off your checklist and we'll just go through it.
Okay,
All right, Myrna?
and I will do that.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Mayor, if I can mention as well, we have one of our NSP homes that is on Reverend Burns Drive, and it is phenomenal. I just walked it today. This is a program where we purchase foreclosed properties, we rehab them, and then we put them back on the market. And this house will be done in about a week, according to the contractor. And I walked it today. The house is, what they've done to the house is beautiful. I hope everybody from that area gets a chance to walk over and take a look at the house and see exactly how the NSP program works. And I think it's really going to help the neighborhood, this particular house. So
Hopefully it turns over quick. Okay. Awana, could you grab a microphone real quick? Awana's in charge of the community development programs. I know right now with the summer youth sports heating up, I know you have programs that could help families that can't afford some of the high costs that are associated. I know just playing baseball costs $150 with some leagues around the city, so I know you have programs that could help with that situation.
Thank you. The Hammond Citywide Youth Program is a recreation program where our department, through the Housing and Urban Development Grant, which is CDBG, we pay for any enrollment, any registration fees for your children, grandchildren to participate in any program that's going on in the city, whether it's soccer, boxing, basketball, baseball, etc. We'll definitely pay for those fees. Just to give you a highlight of what we pay for outside of the registration fees, if there's any in relation to boxing, we'll pick up the cost of boxing gloves, the the teeth that go in your mouth, the protection, things of that nature. Our program, we've assisted over 150 children throughout the city who are participating in this program. So it's a very what am I trying to say? Well-run program through our department. The family size for one person, two people, 41,400. If you make under that, you can definitely participate. A family of four, $51,750. So it is, HUD has the guidelines set for anyone to participate. Thank you.
Thanks, Luana. You made it. Good. Let's just keep it in Planning and Development Department. We just had about 6 weeks ago, we literally got a chainsaw out and I sawed the ribbon open on a brand new economic development project in the 3rd District. As everybody knows, on 165th and Columbia, we just opened a brand new Menards there. Bill, would you speak on behalf of your department and talk a little bit about that project and something, new economic development opportunity in the 3rd District? That's something to celebrate, so.
Absolutely. I believe it was March 15th or so that the new Menards opened up right there at that Columbia Center. This is the largest Menards open in the country. It's over 220,000 square feet. It is phenomenal what they've done there with not only their Menards but also the outlet buildings that they rehabbed and made them look a lot nicer and inviting. And because of that, I can also let everybody know that there's going to be a brand new restaurant right in front of that Menards in the old, I believe it was the old Blockbuster building. I can't really talk about what the name of the restaurant is yet because we're still working on details, but I can assure you that there will be a new restaurant in that building. We've already met with the group a couple of times. So when you have a big project like that, and again, the largest Menards in the country, it brings on other new development, new investment, and this is a great opportunity for that entire plaza. I hope across the street there's a couple things we're looking at to do, and it's just a great thing that happened in the 3rd District.
All right, thanks. Does anybody have any questions about that? Outstanding. All right, Donna.
Okay, Mayor, this is Mrs. Hall. She has a question regarding lighting on 1100 block of Field Street.
All right. Hi, Mrs. Hall. Hold on.
Hello, Mayor. How are you
Nice
today?
to see you.
My question is, we've met with Councilman Higgs upon 3 occasions.
Okay.
I've taken a couple of letters to your office, and since we had a tragedy, plus there's activity, this is for you, Mr. Miller, there's more activity at the beginning of Tapper and Field Street now. We need lights. We seriously need lights for the 10 and 1100 block of Field Street.
Okay.
The neighbors, it is so dark when you turn that corner, and there's two lights on our block, just two pole lights.
Mature trees.
The lady on the
right.
corner used to have a light that she used to pay NIPSCO for. However, she sold her home, so she moved, they took the pole light down. We had more light then. However, right now, we truly need more.
Okay.
We need lights.
Right.
The 10 and 1100 block of Field Street. I speak for the neighbors on those 2 blocks.
The councilman's itching to get on the microphone here. I just want to point out, ma'am, Mrs. Hall, that, first off, we're going to take your complaint and we're going to follow it up, okay? We have a certain criteria we follow, but, I wish we could, and I'm sure the councilman would speak for this also, I wish we could snap our fingers and make lighting all over the city because it would help lower crime. And so I guess what we're saying is you have to prioritize the streets and you have to have the funding available and then you have to engineer it to make it happen. But I'm not saying it's not a good idea. I'm saying that it's not really easy to, light up the 3rd District. So your councilman's literally like on my toe right now, so I'm going to let him come over here and speak. So.
Well, the reality of it is during the campaign I was badgered, abused, and mistreated by the same individuals that's stepping up to the podium and requesting lighting. But I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that the entire block of fields get lit up within the next year or so. We're engineering and designing it, but I'm committed to my entire community, and I will not allow tactics or abuse to deter me from what I'm trying to get accomplished in the 3rd District. So the residents on the 3rd District, in the 3rd District on Field Street will additionally, at some point get lights, but it won't be immediately, and I am working diligently to try to accomplish this in a timely fashion. But the abuse and the mistreatment that I had during the campaign was uncalled for, totally uncalled for.
Usually when people get off vacation, they're in better moods, Anthony. I want to point out that Councilman Higgs does have that exact block engineered for the project. It's in the process of being engineered, Mrs. Hall. So if you don't mind, I mean, if you want to talk about the issue, that's fine. I don't want to like get in a back and forth, if that's okay. What's that? I'm sorry.
I feel that, I don't know what Councilman Higgs is speaking of, abuse, people abusing him during the election. You are a grown person. Grow up.
Okay.
Do your job for the complete 3rd District.
Yes.
We asked for lights, it's almost been 2 years.
Hold on.
Our street
We're not going
was
to do this.
surfaced.
We're not going to do this.
We don't, all we need
Ms.
is
Hall,
street
come on.
lights.
I'm really sorry about all this.
You know,
I don't want to get in.
We don't want to talk about the election.
I
You
agree.
were elected.
I agree, ma'am.
Do your job.
I agree, ma'am.
And I've been doing my job for 8 years. That's why I got reelected, Ms. Hall. Congratulations to me.
I need a gavel. Order in the court, please. I'm sorry, ma'am, and Councilman, and let's just. Hi. Yeah. This is.
Hey, Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Can I
Hey,
just,
Rick, how's it going?
Lights, I just want to bring something up. I've met Ms. Hall before. I understand that you're concerned about your streets, and that's obviously very important, but if the neighbors, are, are you familiar with our light program that we have? I think there's actually 2 different departments that are doing the program. The UEA department, which Pat Reardon is in charge of, and also community development, who Ms. Awana Miller is in charge of as well, gives a free light to every resident who applies for one. Okay, and I'm not saying that's a solution to the problem. Plus, I thought it was a good segue, so I figured I would touch on that.
Yeah.
But if you can let your residents know that that is a fantastic program that people take advantage all over the city of Hammond. And I just, if there's a challenge with lights, in the meantime, until lights do get addressed there, I would encourage as many residents as possible to fill that up. And I think our staff hears the urgency and would be happy to accommodate them.
Ms. Hall, thank you, and Councilman, I appreciate it. And the election's over. Yeah, ma'am. Well, I mean, I can't. We have it on engineered. Stan, could you explain the process we have to go through?
Yeah, we've got five projects. One of them is Field Street, lighting from Calumet over to Reverend Burns Drive. It's being designed because it's going to have ornamental lights that gives you a much better light pattern. And
below the tree line.
Yeah, those are the shorter ones. So if you have a tree canopy, they sit under it. We can control how that light is spread with the different type of globe that we install on it. So these things need to be engineered, and it's going to take a few months for the engineering. Once it's ready, then the councilman has a price, and then he has to pick from all the projects that he has, and then try to get them built. But lighting projects we could do even in the winter time, so there's nothing holding that up. Yeah, you could do it any time because like a street, you've got to be able to lay asphalt, and you need temperatures like 60 degrees. Lighting, you can install conduit even if the ground's frozen.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll probably see the engineers out there measuring. That's Phil's program. Phil's going to have to answer that question.
Did you go through Planning Development or Urban Enterprise Association? If you want to call 853-6508, that's Planning and Development. And then we'll figure out which program you went through, and then we'll help you get that fixed.
We do have some lighting projects going on in the 3rd District, and that is I think Lewis is going this year, and Jackson. Engineered and designed and ornamental lighting is being placed on Jefferson, Euclid, and Cleveland to Willard. So those are the projects. About approximately $1.7 million already bidded out currently. So we're working throughout the district. It's a huge district. It goes from 165th to Kennedy Avenue all the way to State Line, and it's a very huge district, and we're looking over the entire district to see what the needs are to address them. So everybody's important. No one's excluded. Feel free to give the councilman a call. Hi, Helen. Good to see you.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Higgs. All right, this has been a good meeting so far, so thank you for coming to Mayor's Night. Hey, I want to change topics here off of the lighting for a second. I want to introduce Kelly Kearney, who's the head of Hammond Code Enforcement. Kelly, this time of year always brings a lot of complaints about grass, the grass growing too fast. You know, sometimes properties are abandoned and they're not cutting their grass, obviously. What's the right process to go through? I mean, we've become pretty good at this after a few years, so what process should you go through if you see a house that the grass isn't getting cut? The worst thing you could do is cut the grass yourself, right?
Yes, especially if you're going to cut the front grass. When the inspectors are coming through, they're primarily on the streets. So if you're cutting that front lawn as a favor or to make it look nice and the backyard's growing, we may not spot that. The inspectors may not catch that. The best thing you can do is call us at 853-6447. Give us the exact address if you can, because there's a lot of research that goes into to find out the condition and who owns the property. And then we'll go out, check it out, and usually we'll put a green tag on it. You may see these are chartreuse and black. They tell the people who may have that house that they have 10 days to cut that until we issue a citation. By state statute, we have to give them 10 days before we can cut it. So then we can lien the property for the taxes for the amount that it cuts. Now, if you have a vacant house, it's kind of hard to recoup that money at the same time. It is a way to lien on it. If the house ever does sell, we can recoup some of that money.
So Kelly, let's say, if I don't know whether or not the city knows about that property, an easy way to be able to tell is to drive by, and if you see the big green sticker.
That's why we made them chartreuse, yes.
So basically, you can see it from the street.
And ideally, if they call and make a complaint on a certain address, we go out, we'll put the tag up, they'll see that tag.
So all the neighbors know.
They'll know that we've been on it, they'll know that it's
And
in the process.
the reason we say the worst thing you could do is cut that grass yourself is if you cut it yourself, our inspector goes by, we don't put it on our list because the grass is getting cut, and then you're like, how come nobody's taking care of this? Well, because when you start taking care of it, it gets off the radar. So help us out, identify those properties by calling code enforcement directly.
853-6447.
6447, code enforcement's in the basement of Hammond City Hall. 6447. Call code enforcement directly. If you know right now this property's not getting cut, put it on our radar. We go through a process. Once we get that order from the court that we can go ahead and cut the grass, we go out there. We have to get a court order to do that. We can't just go out there and start cutting people's grass. If they could, they'd be cutting my grass right now. You have to go through a court order to do that because it's illegal. It's just like pouring sidewalks for votes. It's no different. So we have to go through a process for us to be able to step foot on private property. So help us by identifying these properties for us, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, sir. Great. Donna.
Sir, are there any immediate plans for Columbia Business Park and it needs cutting?
Columbia Business Park and it needs cutting. Are there immediate plans?
I believe the person's referring to the property that we have for sale right now. We have a sign up. There's approximately, I want to say, 2.7 acres that we have available.
That's just Columbia and what? Is that?
Just south of Menards.
Just north of Menards. Just north of Menards.
North of Menards.
Right.
We've had it for sale for a while. We'll address the cutting first. Sometimes it's difficult when it keeps raining sporadically for us to get our guys out there to get it cut quickly. However, we stay on top of it. We try and keep it, cut as efficiently as possible. So hopefully if this rain slows down, we'll be able to get out there and get it cut. But secondly, we've been hoping that when you have a large investment like what Menards did, we've truly believe that we're going to start getting more inquiries on this property. Again, we have a new restaurant that's going in front of Menards, and maybe, these investments all happening together will inspire someone to want to purchase this property just to the north, and hopefully we'll have a nice project there. We get a few inquiries here and there, but we haven't had anything too serious yet. But we do have the property up for sale.
And I was very instrumental in going before the redevelopment and requesting that that particular property be put up for sale if no development was going to be placed there. Also, if possible, the property needs to be cleaned up from the contamination, because at one point a developer was supposed to build homes or townhouses on the property, but after doing the testing, we found out it was contaminated, and so therefore you can't build on that property.
Yeah, just, never mind. All right, so anyways, any follow-up on that question? Anybody? Beth? You look like you had something on your mind. No?
That we're marketing a lot of properties in Hammond right now, and we're working on a new property database with the Northwest Indiana Forum and through the state of Indiana that is going to, we currently have a property database, but this one's going to be much better and much easier to send property information to prospective buyers. So.
Okay, thank you. Chris Aguilaris, head of the Hammond Legal Aid Clinic. It's been a while since you've been picked on. I figured tonight's the night.
We just moved.
Yeah, how's everything going with the move and with the new location? You got the same phone number, right?
Same phone number. We're in the First Midwest Bank building.
So you're still on Holman?
Still on Holman Avenue on the 6th floor. On a good day, we can see Chicago skyline, so that's nice.
Beautiful.
We are open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. You have to fill out a small application. Just prove to us that you've been a Hammond resident for more than 9 months, and then show us your household income, and all of our services are free.
What's your most common case?
Most common case, a lot of child support cases.
Like single mom kind of things?
Single moms, child support orders already in place, but we have to help them get that money. A lot of landlord-tenant cases. We all know that although if all of us were landlords, we might be good landlords, that there are a lot of bad landlords out there. And the law provides that when you move out of an apartment, that you're due your security rent, your security deposit back within 45 days. A lot of times that doesn't happen. And people sometimes will have to choose between sleeping in their car for a month to save up a security deposit for a new place if they can't get that old security deposit back. So we see a lot of those cases. We also see a lot of senior citizens with Social Security cases and disability cases. We do advanced directives, more often called living wills. Those were really big after the case in Florida when, you know, we want to be able to decide while we're still able to decide whether or not we want to be put on life support. So we do a lot of those cases also.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So Legal Aid Clinic, same number, 6611?
853-6611.
6611, located on Hammond in the First Midwest Bank Building, 6th floor. Elevator work?
Elevator work.
Good. All right. All right, Donna, how we doing?
Good. We've got a police matter.
Good. Brian's doodling over here. He needs some questions.
We are having problems with speeding down 167th between Indy Boulevard and Osborne Street, along with Osborne between 165th and 167th. People are going 10 to 15 miles per hour over the speed limit, which is 25 on both streets.
In Indy and Osborne, 167th?
I got
Between
Indy,
165 and 167.
Indy to Osborne on 167th. And what was the other one? I'm sorry.
Osborne between 165 and 167.
Okay. Yeah, I know it.
No problem. We'll have-
Isn't that the one that goes over the railroad tracks there?
I'm trying to think. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
over by Calumet Breweries?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
gotcha. But that,
Okay.
okay. Over by Tanglewood, right. 167th over there. Okay, Osborne, yeah, and then between that and 165th? Yeah, you're right. It's a bad area, heavy traffic.
No problem. We'll have our traffic division over there quickly, like tomorrow.
Thank you, ma'am. Sorry about that. Good to see you're all right. And jogging, that's good stuff. Oh, we got a follow-up. So we're talking police matters, I imagine. All right.
They are going like 70. It's ridiculous.
70 in a drug
I'm not-
house.
Yeah, 60, 70. I'm not kidding you. I'm up till 1, 2 in the morning on my computer, and they are
On Beverly,
flying
River
on
Drive.
Bertram, and we got a handicap sign on each end.
Oh, on Bertram.
Bertram.
Bertram and River.
Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous.
You have a certain high-ranking police official who lives pretty close to there.
I know.
Yeah. I have a feeling he's taking notes on that one. Right, Chief? Yeah. Okay. Any other questions about police matters? All right. Keep them going, Donna. Oh, Ms. King? Hold on.
We were told at a Crime Watch meeting that they were putting cameras on poles in East Hammond. In fact, the pole that sits north of my house, that's Tapper and Lion Street, that there were cameras. So is there any updates on that? Are
Sure.
there cameras
Thank you.
or what?
Chief Miller?
I didn't hear, I heard about the
She
cameras.
was talking about, she was corrected about the location, about the camera program. It's not implemented yet, but we're getting close.
Late July, the camera should be
Could you talk a little bit
activated.
about the
Yes, sir.
location, how they were chosen?
What she's mentioning is we're putting up 5 banks of crime cameras. They're called, or crime deterrent cameras. They've been very effectively used in Chicago and closer in Cal City. Cal City actually put them up in a park where they were having drug dealing, and within 2 weeks, the drug dealing completely dried up because the drug dealers obviously didn't want to be on camera making deals. In fact, it caused a problem because then Calumet City had to shift the camera to another area, and it was starting to cost a lot of money to shift. So then what they found that they started doing is putting up blank boxes with the lights, and then the criminals didn't know if it was a functioning camera or a fake one, but it does work. We selected 5 positions where we wanted them. It's State Line and Sibley and Holman.
Mm-hmm. State Line, Sibley, Holman.
Calumet and Carroll, and there was
Tapper and Lions.
Tapper and Lions, and Holman and Fayette. Those were the locations.
Well, how were they chosen, Chief Miller?
We looked at crime. We looked at chronic calls in certain areas, and then we tried to keep them in line because it's cheaper to basically run them in a straight line. And then we felt that we would continue them later as we got the funding. The funding was actually provided through the federal government. They gave us a grant, and then we were using some casino funds to take care of the over cost.
Let me ask you a question, Chief. I know some people get nervous. We went through this in the 6th District when Councilman Hinojosa started a program years ago that didn't work out as well as we hoped it did, but I know we're trying to improve upon that with this new system. Some of the concerns we heard were, will Hammond police officers be able to train the camera at a window and watch us get undressed and stuff like that? I mean...
No, they have a fixed focus. We will set them up to look down Lion Street. It'll also look down Tapper. No houses will actually be able to be penetrated by the camera. We can actually, through the computer, you can block the house out very easily, and then that will be set. If a resident has a question, if their house is in the affected area, they can make an appointment. We can take them in the radio dispatch center and show you the exact focus of our camera. And it is fixed. We can't move it. The nice thing, though, it's internet available, so our officers can actually pick it up in their car. If they're responding to a call in the park, they can actually pick that area up while they're responding and see real-time what's going on in the park at the call that they're responding to.
And as long as they pull it up on their computer, they're literally taping. So, say for instance, a drug transaction right there on their laptop, right?
Yes.
That could be used as evidence in court and stuff like that?
Yes, it's being constantly taped, and then it gets taped over after a certain number of days.
Okay. Chris, do you have anything you want to add to that? Chris, the head of Hammond's IT department.
The chief did a pretty good job. The feed will be going back to the dispatch center. Our dispatchers, in between their very important jobs of dispatching, will be trying to keep an eye on the cameras. It's constantly recorded, and we are looking into allowing the officers in the police cars to actually view the cameras, hopefully when they're parked. And other than that, the chief really covered it.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Through it, everybody during the day or evening.
Tapper and Field, stop
They
sign,
just run the stop
traffic
sign
enforcement.
nonstop.
Okay.
Also, the second question is, are we going to have more policemen patrolling our area? We used to see them every day. Now we very seldom see the officers.
We have plenty of police officers out there. I'll make sure that they hang around the area of Tapper and Fields. Your councilman provided more, used casino money to actually provide more units in our area. So yes, they will definitely be out there.
Ma'am, you got, I mean, right now, and I know that, we take your complaint, and we respect your complaint, but in addition to the normal staffing level that we always had on the street, in the third, and just like in all the districts, really, we've beefed up the patrols above and beyond that, so. But I appreciate your complaint. We'll take your complaint about Tapper and Fields stop sign as well. All right. Ms. King, did you have any follow-up on the camera situation?
Well, when they're finally installed, will there be any kind of notification, explanation to the neighborhood or something so folks will know they're there? Or?
Yeah, we're going to do some type of groundbreaking for sure. Okay? All right. Yes, ma'am. Criminal. Thank you. It's nice of you. I appreciate it. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Donna. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Donna. Dan's a hard guy to like, so. All right. Donna, how you doing?
Good, Mayor. This is about you.
Oh, great.
First of all, thank you for GoHammond.tv.
Oh, nice.
And secondly, the resident would like to see more use of the mayor's blog.
Good news. I just wrote an op-ed today. Very point well taken. It's probably written by our website guy because he tells me that all the time, Ray.
And so do I.
And you do too. So I will note that. In fact, I just wrote an op-ed today. I will make sure you guys get a more constant stream of press releases. Hey, Megan, could you make a note for our office staff to make sure that GoHammond TV and GoHammond.com are getting copies of all of our press releases so that they can print them on our blog? I can't see you. I know you can hear me, though. Thanks, Megan. All right.
Okay, moving on to College Bound. This is Ms. Gray.
Hi, Ms. Gray. Long time no talk.
Well, I wish we were talking more often.
Hey, could I sort of summarize? Are we talking about the same situation we usually do? I can just sort of summarize so we can catch everybody up. Is that all right?
No, I have specific questions that I want answered.
Okay, I want to just make sure it's about the situation. It's a college-bound situation with your son who is in a 5-year program, and college-bound only covers 4 years, and that's the problem, right? Is that a fair statement?
That's part of it.
Okay. So I just caught up a lot of people, so.
Okay, first of all, I want to know why is it that I was planning to attend the regular college-bound exceptions committee meeting, and I was sent an email saying that I could not come. I don't understand that because those meetings are open to the public. I've been to them many times, so I don't understand why I was asked not to come. I also don't understand why I did not get calls back from Daverton when I put several into him, and also I tried to get the public records on the college-bound money, where it has gone, how much is left over each year, and all I got was the runaround. I filled out the paperwork, the proper paperwork to have it, and it was never given to me.
And I know Courtney's going to jump in. I want to just say something before Courtney jumps in. The basic problem with this situation is college-bound very clearly states the children that receive our scholarship are entitled to 4 years. It's clear. We can't make exceptions from that, ma'am. So the fact that you're not making any headway with the College-Bound Exceptions Committee is because it's a clear-cut case. Clear-cut. And now, as far as FOIA requests, I mean, that's totally legitimate, and obviously we need to follow that up. But I just want to make it clear. I mean, most people are super happy when they get 4 years of college tuition paid for. No, this is the first of a kind where somebody's come back upset that they can't get a 5th year. This is the first of a kind. So I wanted to point that out myself. Courtney.
The email I sent to you, you could have came, but it was excused in private for them to talk generally, and then when they voted on the exceptions, it was opened back up to the public. So there was a member from the Times there So did you want to say something?
Okay, you did not put that in the email. You asked me not to come to that meeting.
I didn't
You
ask
said it
you
was
not
closed.
to come. I said it was closed
You
to the
said
public
it was
in
closed
executive
to the
session.
public.
If you had you could have called me, and then I could have clarified it better. I was just trying to be the better person and give you the date so you were aware of when we were
I was
meeting
aware
next.
of the date.
Ma'am.
You said in that email, and I can make a copy
Ma'am,
of it.
ma'am, at the end of the day, this conversation, it's, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because we still have the basic problem.
At the end of the day, it does
The
matter
basic
because
problem
that
is,
is open to the
ma'am,
public, and
the
I
basic
was,
problem, ma'am, is you're trying to force a square peg into a
I'm
round
not trying
hole.
to force anything,
Yes, ma'am,
sir.
you are. The
No,
fact is,
as a citizen, I am entitled to be at that meeting.
Absolutely, ma'am,
And I was
absolutely.
asked not to come.
Okay.
I'm also entitled to the information on that
You're right.
money,
Absolutely.
which everyone is entitled to get that. I went through the proper channels. I want the documents that I filled out to know. And I
Attorney
want to know,
Cantor?
why is it that this man Daberton did
Hold
not
on.
return my phone call?
Ma'am, the annual report is online, open to everyone at gohammond.com under Document Central. On the 10th or 11th page, it's the breakdown of the budget from 2006. And that's what's available to explain all of the money.
and I'm gonna give you one further, okay, Ms. Gray?
I'm so sorry.
Okay, no.
The exceptions committee, the problem is all of them, it's private, it's confidential. But when you keep coming, the members now have to recuse themselves because they already know who it is. So that puts us in a bind because then we don't have anybody to even vote on it. So the process is almost being tainted because people are starting to acknowledge, oh, I remember this woman from 2007, for her son, and then now she's coming back now, and they're able to put that together. And then that's tainting the process. It's not private or confidential anymore.
Okay. Now, Ms.
Okay, I'm not allowed to speak at the meeting, and the names of the students, it's like a A, B, C, D, or a number or
Correct.
something. No one knows who is who. I didn't know who was who, except for I knew that I wrote the letter.
But the
So-
members that have been on the board from 2007, remember you going to meetings like this, preaching for the tuba, the major,
I
they
did
all
not speak,
recognize
I've
that.
never spoke at an exceptions meeting.
Okay.
So.
All right, let's just turn this argument off. And, ma'am, the basic problem is this. College Bound very clearly says 4 years, that's all you get. If a student skipped and you have an exceptional son, he's in an exceptional program, and I think he's going to do very well in life, and that's a wonderful thing. But he's got 4 years of coverage through the College Bound program, and quite frankly, I think most people are pretty happy at that point. You're trying to get us to change how we operate. If we change it for your son, we got to change the whole program, ma'am, and we can't do that. And you're not going to make much headway on this issue. Maybe that's why they're not calling you back, because you're not going to make much headway. You're asking us to change the policy of the program. It's not going to work, ma'am. It's not the way it works.
If indeed there is extra money, lots of extra
Ma'am,
money.
it's not gonna work.
And you
It
have
doesn't matter if
children,
there is.
you have
It doesn't
children
matter, ma'am.
that are entering
Ma'am,
5-year
it doesn't matter.
programs, and you want them
It does
to
not matter.
succeed
It matters
in
0%.
college. It seems to
All right.
me, if there's extra money, and I believe there's a whole lot of extra money, can we talk about the extra?
Ma'am, Donna.
Let's get these
Donna.
kids graduated. So
All right. Thank you for your comments, ma'am. Ma'am, could you respect the meeting and... Thank you,
Hey, ma'am, if I can, I wish that College Bound was there when I was in school, and I had to fill out a FAFSA and take a loan. It's called a student loan.
Hey, guys. Hey, ma'am. You're setting a very bad example for your son who's sitting right next to you, ma'am. A very bad example. Jeez. Ma'am, when we created the College Bound program, a 4-year college scholarship, it's unique. It's one of the most generous programs in the United States of America. Easily. It's embarrassing to get yelled at because we're not going to change the program for one person, ma'am. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for you. It's embarrassing for us. I'm embarrassed, okay? I'm embarrassed. So, thank you. I appreciate it. I am sorry, you're right. Proof positive that we do not screen questions. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Next question.
Kind of a statement, Mayor. Someone wanted me to announce that the Maywood Baseball League Parade and opening day is Saturday, May 28th at noon. And they'd like to know if Councilman Higgs has sponsored a baseball team this year.
In reality, the entire council, we sent them some money, and there are a number of organizations throughout the city that we give funding to, and we can't just exclude Maywood Baseball, but we did send them some money for a banner, tried to get my colleagues to get on board to get a float. They said no. Me and Spitali, Councilman Spitali, wave your hand. We said yes, they said no. So now we're at square one. I just got back in town, and we're going to do what we can to throw out some candy. If I have to drive my own personal vehicle, we'll do that. If not, we'll rent a vehicle, whatever we need to do to throw out some candy for the kids and so they can have an enjoyable day on Saturday for opening day of Maywood Baseball. How about that?
Thank you, Councilman Higgs. Whew. Love is in the air.
Are Mr. and Mrs. Naumoff still here? I'm
Right over
sorry,
there.
I
Thank you for
said
coming
that
out
wrong.
tonight.
I know I said that wrong.
Hi, guys. Thanks for coming
Not
out.
sure exactly what the topic is.
It's okay.
Oh, Mr. Mayor, thank
sir.
you. Sir, we're just here tonight to introduce ourselves. This is, I'm Nick Naumoff, my wife Ellen Naumoff, and we just want to tell you tonight, in light of your proclamation for Historic Preservation Month, my wife Ellen is the great-great-granddaughter of Mr. Adelbert Warren, who developed the Homewood edition of Hammond and developed Harrison Park. And what Ellen and I are doing, we're using our private funds, and we're trying to buy abandoned properties in the Homewood edition and revitalize them and bring these properties back to life. And we, oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. We just, actually, my great-great-grandmother was Dorcas Doty Webb.
No kidding.
And we just spent, I'm pretty proud because we just put $50,000 into the corner of Webb and State Line, and I can't tell you how many people pull up while I'm out there painting the deck and stop and say, thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
For doing this to our corner. And I'm so, I love what the city is doing with federal money, but I just want to say this is our own private money.
I love it.
Pouring it into your city.
Thank you, ma'am. We won't let you down.
Please drive by 3 West.
Webb and State Line. Thank you, guys. Congratulations. Love is in the air. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. I love it. How we doing, Donna?
Next up, Mayor, this is Janet Vanez regarding a community watch coming up.
Hi, Miss Vanez. How's your husband feeling?
He's great. He's right here. Thank
I know.
you.
I was. Hi. Hey, everybody. Phil Vanez is recuperating from open heart surgery. He's doing a great job. He's a good friend of all of us. If you guys give him a big round of applause. So.
I just wanted to invite everyone to the National Night Out Against Crime and Drugs in Hammond on August 2nd at the Civic Center. It's being hosted by Edison Community Watch. That's the group I'm affiliated with. The Whiting Robertsdale Crime Watch that Bonnie here is affiliated with, and the East Hammond Pullman Crime Watch, and there's a lot of the members here this evening. This is an event to educate our residents and our children about drug and crime prevention. It fosters partnerships between our residents and the police department. We will once again be giving away a free hot dog, chips, and pop to everyone who comes with a canned good that will be donated to Haven House. Also, a gently used coat that will be donated to Kuziak Cares for his coat drive in November. So bring the kids out. We're trying to get the Lake County helicopter to come. We're going to have a DJ, chalk drawings for the kids. So please mark your calendar, bring your family. It will prove to be a fun night for the entire family. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Vanez.
I'm sorry, Mayor, I was trying to read this, but I know who Pat is, so I'm just gonna come up and ask her to decipher for me, please.
Okay, as you enter Hammond from all areas, the
Good-
welcome signs.
Good question.
Can the college-bound kids keep these up in the summer
Oh.
instead of weeds? It's, you know, it's our city, let's be proud of it.
Hey, Pat, we have a project going on all the welcomes, on all the entrances into the city. Rick, could you talk a little bit? Rick Kalinsky is Hammond's Chief of Staff.
Sure, and not only just the welcome signs that you'll notice, they're not all going up at exactly the same time because there are some major landscaping going around. If you noticed all along, really especially in the 3rd District, our first step was we put new trees all along Calumet Avenue. We've done it on Kennedy Avenue. There's a lot of common areas, probably most notably that you saw is tore up is on Indianapolis Boulevard, right by the old McTaverns, the new rehab facility. There's some stuff up north too. It's completely with the mayor's casino dollars. We're just looking to actually take Hessville Park also. They've cleaned out and put new landscaping that's going through in the beds over there on Holman Avenue. That's going to happen. So a lot of real positive things that we're doing as far as beautification. It's tough every year, to maintain, and most of those trees only have a 10-year life sometimes on the boulevards. But that, welcome signs, and a lot of beautification all by it. So it's really going to be a great project. You'll probably see it complete, I'd say, sometime in July.
And we're real creative with the college-bound students. Each year we have 420 interns doing about anywhere from 20 to 40 hours each over the summer, and we spread them out to all departments. The mayor's office always has an intern working in there. We have interns working in the controller's office, engineer's office, the Port Authority. So we try to spread them around as good as possible. Clerk Olick? Yes, sir. Oh, thank you. Clerk Olick has got an intern. In fact, I saw your intern just the other day. So. Oh yeah, yeah. It's a great program. It's unique to hear a complaint about that program. It's
Especially when it didn't cost you anything.
yeah, 4 years. Yeah, it's a no. Yeah. She'll watch on Go Hammond TV. So let's just cut this off. Anyway, Donna.
Sir.
By the way, Clerk Olick, I wanted to mention about 2 years ago pulled me off to the side and told me about this entrance project and how Hammond should really focus on entrances to the city. That's why I was pointing to you a few minutes ago. When they were talking about it, I looked over at Clerk Olick because he actually pulled me off to the side one day and said, this is something you should focus on. So I wanted to say thank you. Give credit where credit's due. So thank you very much, Bob Golick. In addition to a number of things he counsels me on, that was a very good recommendation, so I appreciate it.
Okay, Mayor, are there any liquor stores or taverns going before the liquor board on licensing issues?
Chris, we have a good tag team. We appointed from the Pulaski Park Neighborhood Association, Melissa Farrell. She is very strong against bad uses of liquor licenses. We appointed her as Hammond's appointment to the Lake County Liquor Board, and between her and Chris Cantar, who's our city attorney, they work together, and they're literally liquor establishment that's breaking the law, that's not following the law. These two women are their worst nightmare. They've been doing a great job working together. Chris, did you hear the question?
Thank you, Mayor. The Lake County Liquor Board on Hammond liquor licenses, it meets the first Thursday of every month, so in June it'd be June 2nd. I don't get to see the agenda until the Monday before that Thursday, so I do not know what's on the agenda for Thursday, June 2nd. However, any new liquor license is required 10 days prior to the meeting to post a big orange sticker, it looks like a toe sticker, on their window indicating that they will be before the liquor board within 10 days. So if you see an orange sticker going up at any location, that is an indication that within 10 days they will be before the Lake County Liquor Board. If there is a location you suspect is attempting to get liquor, and I've heard only rumors that there's a place on 169th and Holman, the best thing you can do is work with your crime watch to start obtaining signatures in opposition to that liquor store. That way you have more than 10 days to organize and to obtain signatures. The city of Hammond, liquor licenses are based upon quota, but unfortunately it's based upon a quota that no longer exists. The city of Hammond has 96 liquor licenses, and that does not include 208 liquor drugstores. And the population does not support 96, so we are over quota, we are overserved. So due to the fact that we are over quota and overserved, it is the will of the community, which is then considered by the local board in determining whether or not a new liquor establishment should be opened. And If we can support that the will of the community is against it, it's very likely the local board will unanimously vote against it. And if the vote is unanimous, the Indianapolis usually affirms that. They have a right to an appeal afterwards. We've also targeted some nuisance properties, some nuisance liquor stores. And just, you know, a nuisance liquor store isn't just because they don't have the, you know, the stamp on or the retail sales. If somebody gets shot or stabbed or beaten there, that's usually an indication that there's more than just liquor going on there. It's usually an indication of drug or criminal activity. And if there's any indication of drug activity, the ATF will shut them down. Unfortunately, it is up to everybody to let me know it's happening so I can be there to remonstrate. I go every month to the Liquor Commission, except in February it was canceled because of the blizzard, but I go every month. And if there is a problem location, please do let me know so I can keep it on my radar and watch for it when I get the agenda.
Thank you, Chris. Then Chris mentioned something there that's real important is, you know, there's a majority of the liquor establishments aren't on our radar because they operate legally. They make sure they're carding people when they're ordering. They're making sure that they're taking care of their patrons and they're inside the bar or the restaurant. They're not on our problem list. Like Chris said, when you start having a lot of fights, when you have a lot of drugs being done in there, or, you know, unfortunately sometimes you get fatalities or something along those lines, that's when they put them on our list. And we've been very successful. Once they get on that list, we've been very successful of taking the business out, basically. So, thank you. You know, that was a pretty general question. I don't know if there's a follow-up. Oh, Ms. King.
Well, can you mention a specific business in this venue? No. Is it proper?
Do you know anything specific opening up, Chris?
If it's something new, I won't know about it until there's an orange sticker 10 days before the meeting, and I only see the agenda the Monday before that Thursday. I mean, or do you mean specific as to places we've closed down?
One that, do you know of one particular tavern? If I mention a name, could you
mention
tell
it,
me?
Ms. King? It makes it easier.
Should I mention the name or
That's
wait till
fine.
after this?
No, you can mention it. So if it's a public record, if it's in that forum.
Is Dodo's on the
Yeah,
list?
I had a feeling that's where you were going. So.
They have been cited. They actually were cited. They had lost their license, and it went down on appeal, and it was overturned by Indianapolis. The local board had voted against them, and I do believe now they have some new citations, but I don't know if they're on the agenda for June 2nd or if they're later in the year. For example, a place like McTavern's, it was always in September. Their renewal came up in September. So even if they got a citation in February, their renewal hearing was in September. So whenever Dodo's cycle is, it'll be when they're back on the agenda.
Okay, and Ms. King, I know Chief Miller wants to jump in on that particular situation that you brought up. Chief?
That was a combined operation between excise and the Hammond Police. We actually located cocaine. Cocaine was being sold out of Dodo's, for those of you who don't know it. We arrested the individuals involved in that, and then we actually found cocaine in the bar, and they were cited by excise for the possession of cocaine. That's probably the reason they actually lost their license.
And that's exactly how you get on our list, and when you get on that list, you go out of business. I mean, that's the way we operate, so.
And because Dodo is a personal friend of mine, I will say this, that she hired a lawyer, she went downstate, and she fought, and whatever the outcome was, I guess the bar is still open. But again, that was her way of handling it, by handling this incident, is hiring an attorney and going downstate and fighting it against the board, I guess.
Thank you, Councilman.
Well, Councilman Hicks, since you mentioned it, I take it you support her business being in the 3rd District.
I support my community. I don't know exactly what goes on in and out of there. I don't live there. All I know is Dodo is a personal friend of mine, and I have the utmost respect for Dodo.
All right, thank you. Okay, thanks for
Mayor,
the question. Yeah, full moon?
I just want to remind everyone to bring your Hammond ID, your driver's license, here to Leanne and Jake before we exit tonight, and get your light bulbs.
Next month, we're bringing balloons. Yeah.
We're done with the
Everybody
written
gets
questions.
happy. No more questions? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say something. It's not always super contentious like this, Mayor's Night. We don't like when people come here with an axe to grind, and I'm not saying anybody had an axe to grind. This is a forum. It's for the community. It's an open format. We've been doing it for a long time, so we don't skip questions. I appreciate you all coming out very much.
And we can say this together, Mayor. We love Hammond.
Yes. Thanks, Councilman Higgs.
One nice point, coming up before the next mayor's meeting, the Hammers for Hearts program will be here the 19th of June. 320 Christian youth from all over the country
They spend $500 to fix our houses.
To come here to help our people paint their houses.
Thank you, sir.
You'll see signs around and people wearing vests. Appreciate the
What's the date on that again?
19th of June through the 24th.
Thank you very much. That's a good way to end it. Hammers for Hearts. Thank you all for coming to Mayor's Night. Next month, Mayor's Night, 2nd District, Renaissance Towers, Wednesday, June 29th. Thank you for Mayor's Night Out. I'll see you next month.